Well, we're joined right now in the Yahoo Esports studio by Doublelift, who today is making an announcement about next year. Doublelift, you want to talk a little bit about what's happening?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of speculation and stuff about what my plans are for the year. Am I going to keep playing? Am I going to retire? And I have decided to take a break from being a pro just for the spring split. I don't want to stop pursuing my dreams, like chasing that big goal, but I do need a break for my mental and physical health, and also for my livelihood in the future. So yeah, it's actually really nice that I'm pretty certain, I'm like 99% certain that I want to continue to be a pro player, but I'll just be coming back in the summer.
So what really determined this? Was this like a financial thing? Because obviously a lot of people speculated that TSM players lost a lot of money this year by playing or by scrimming so much instead of streaming.
Oh yeah, we lost a ton of money as players, but that was never really the big issue for me anyways. But money is definitely a big part of it. I think just the way the market is set up for esports, streamers can make a ton more money than pros can. And it's not really a jab at Riot or TSM. I think they've treated us really well, and I owe everything to the company that made the game that I play and the team that supports me the whole way. It's just, being a streamer, you have so many more opportunities to make money than being a pro. You also have a lot more opportunities to have free time and have a life. And since I was 18, I've basically just never had a life. I think just having that perspective is also, on top of how lucrative it will be to take a break, it will also be good for me to focus on my health, avoid burnout, and mostly gain a lot of perspective and information on what it's like to have a life and to take a step back from scrimming 10 or 12 hours a day.
So is this mostly a plan to stream a ton?
Yeah, in my break, I'm going to be streaming a lot. Planning so far on at least 40 hours a week, Monday to Friday, 8 hours a day, and taking the weekends off. And just that, having the weekends off is going to be insane for me, because we average 1 day off a month for the last 2 or 3 years. And having 2 days off a week is definitely going to be pretty crazy for me. So yeah, it's going to be really nice to reconnect with my fans and just, back in the old days, season 1, season 2, I used to spam streams all the time, and that's how I got a really big fan base to begin with, and was able to show my personality and connect with the fans and spend time with them. So I'm looking forward to it.
Now, you said part of this was because of your mental and physical health. Do you feel like you were burned out? There's been a lot of talk about player burnout lately.
Yeah, and it's not just going to be me, most likely, who feels this way, but there's a lot of health issues that I've run into from playing for so long. There's a lot of people with wrist issues, that they've only been playing for a few years, notably Toys, High, Bjergsen. Recently, I think Medios has been saying he's got wrist pain. Oh, Freeze is another big example. For me, it's not my wrist as much as it is my overall health. I've always had just weird stuff come up, my knees feel funny and hurt all the time. Right now my neck feels really bad and hurts all the time. It's I haven't been to the doctor since I was a teenager. I've never had a checkup or anything like that, a physical examination, because there's no time. And lately I've just been feeling very lethargic, I guess, and fatigued from just doing the same repetitive stuff every day. Obviously you go to the gym and stuff like that, but my physical health is not where I want it to be. And mostly my mental health though, yeah, towards the end I did sort of resent the lifestyle of being a pro, and I just did it because, the sacrifices we were making and the goal that we all wanted to achieve. And it just seems so bad. It's such a bad life to scrim 10 to 12 hours a day for 10 months, 11 months in a row, and then at the end of it, 99% of pro players don't win. So at the end of it, feel empty and feel disappointed.
You mentioned that you're super exhausted, that all this stuff is happening. Do you think there's a chance that at the end of the spring split, you have found, wow, this new schedule and even financial opportunities that it offers will make you reconsider even being a pro in the first place?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think it is possible. And one of the possibilities is that I do this streaming thing. I love it. And I love the idea of streaming being entertaining, making videos, being informative and stuff like that. And then I won't want to return to being a pro. But I think that chance is really low because I'm still as competitive as I've always been. I still have the same goal in mind. And like a lot of fans came up to me after we lost and they're like, I know next year that you're going to make it. I know that next year you got this. And like, I believe in you. I hope you don't quit. Like, don't give up. And just the idea of giving up and just like the idea of quitting just because things didn't go my way or like things didn't go well, that doesn't sit well with me. And I know that I just feel like that's not what I'm about. That's not like something that I would stand for. So I'm pretty sure that I'll want to come back. Now, the other side of that is, what if I want to come back and TSM is doing really well? And you know,
Yeah, because I should ask, like, are you staying on TSM in the interim?
oh yeah, I am staying with TSM. They're gonna be my org, and they're gonna support me, and I'm gonna support them this whole time. And I'm really grateful to be a part of it. But while like in this interim, the string split's gonna happen, and I'm sure like some other small tournaments and stuff like that. So they will be finding another AD carry, and I will be if when I do come back for summer, I'm gonna be fighting for the spot. So I know that's like pretty daunting. You know, not a lot of people are gonna apply for the position because they know they have to contest me for it eventually. But also, I think it's a good test. You know, I wish that the AD carry will be really good so that I have like a test in front of me to see if I have it in me to come back. And I know that my experience and mechanics are definitely not going to degrade. It's mostly just going to be like, how well can I come back and mesh with the team? Maybe like playing solo queue all day will have like a problem with my mechanics and degrade them a little bit. But like, yeah, there's definitely some logistical stuff around that. I feel like I'm like a little bit scared that I'm not going to come back and like be good enough, but I'm also looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think there's a chance that, all right, given that you said it'll be hard and not a lot of AD carries will be excited about the opportunity of having to compete against you, is there a chance where they struggle to find an AD carry or TSM suffers without you in the spring split and things start to look dire for TSM? Would you still continue to stream, or is there any chance that you would be able to step up and help them out?
Oh, if the team really needs me, I'm more than happy to come back a little bit earlier, and it would make me feel really like, not important is the wrong word, but it would make me feel really good to come back into a team that's like struggling really hard because I couldn't find the right AD carry, and I'm still gonna take like a pretty lengthy break, but maybe like you know, when playoffs comes, if they really like, if things are looking really bad for them, I'd be fine with coming back and helping out the org. You know, I'm not gonna like sit back and stream from the cushiness of like my new life and like just let my teammates suffer. It's really good for me if TSM does well, and yeah, they know that I have their back, and I told them this already, that I would come back if things are looking really poor.
Do you think there's a chance that, because you're not the only player that's been playing for so long and going through the scrim schedule that's so long and playing, you know, from January until October, do you think there's a chance that other players in the NA LCS see what you're doing and decide to follow suit?
Yeah, that's a really interesting point because there will come a time when a lot of the popular players like me and Bjergsen and Sneaky and Afro and, you know, like all of the NA LCS players that everyone loves to watch, they either get sick of the game, playing professionally, not sick of the game, but sick of playing professionally, and they go to streaming, or you know, leagues at some point. I don't think it's going to last like 100 years. It's got to die at some point. So yeah, the game dies and they go to streaming. And like, I think testing it out before, I think testing this life out, the streaming life and like non-competitive play life out before that happens is going to be really important for me to, you know, once again, like I said before, just to gain perspective and to see if like that's something that I would be interested in doing in the future. Because I think my career will be really long. And yeah, other players are probably going to think of this as well, or they're going to realize that like, yeah, maybe scrimming 12 hours a day for 10 months is like not a good life. Maybe I should take a break for a whole year. Maybe I should take a break for, you know, the same thing as me, the spring split, which is inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. And in my opinion, a gigantic waste of time for a pro. So I think, yeah, people might follow suit after seeing this, maybe not, but it's just another like idea just out there, you know. I think I'm the first pro that's gonna really consider this, which is like intentionally coming back at a certain time, but like skipping the spring.
Yeah. Is there, you know, as we're kind of getting to the end here, it's important for me to ask, is there a chance that you just don't come back? That this Worlds was your last chance because, what happens if, some star AD carry, some up and coming talent comes to TSM, your AD carry skills degrade because of solo queue and streaming, and you can't get your spot back on TSM, or the team is just doing perfect, and it would be crazy to mix up the roster.
Yeah, like if the team is doing really well, and I don't want to mess with that mojo at all. And it would feel really bad to come into a team and end up like downgrading the team or hurting them when all I wanted to do was help. So there is a chance that after this, the team is doing super well. The AD carry like outperforms me in scrims and outperforms me, or is just like better than me, or I'm not good enough. Then it would suck to sort of fade into obscurity. Not fade into obscurity, but like fade back and like not have a real retirement, but just sort of like be forced into retirement as a result. There's also that weird thing where what if I like really, really love the life and I don't want to come back? Like I don't want to be a pro, which I think is also another small chance. Both these are really small chances. In both cases, I don't think I'll have had great closure, which sits really poorly with me. And I know it sits really poorly with the fans. Like I feel like I have a lot to say about my career, and this is not a retirement announcement. This is an announcement of a small break. One split over 6 years is going to be nothing. Like it's just going to be, a blip in history. So I think there is a chance that I don't come back, but it's really small. And I think for me, the biggest goal is to come back stronger than before. It's not to, like stick with this thing or like let my skills fade back. I think the ultimate goal is to come back stronger than ever.
If TSM doesn't need you, or you can't get back in, is it TSM or bust? I mean, is it you're either coming back to TSM or not at all?
That's hard to say. I'd say like it's really hard for me to think of my life on another team like Cloud9 or going back to CLG or joining Immortals or something like that. I don't want to move to Europe or Asia, and I want to stay in America for sure. This is where all my fans are, and this is where my life has been. I think in terms of NA teams, TSM is the only one that has such like a reputation for success and matches my goals. So yeah, it is TSM for bust. And if I can't make it back on the roster, then it's because I wasn't good enough, and it's because that's what's best for the org. So, I'll just bow out gracefully and hope that the team does well.
Yeah. I mean, I only ask because it seems like, to me, this might be very well like a semi-retirement announcement, right? Because everything has to line up. You have to decide that you want to come back. TSM has to need you in order for you to end up competing again in a summer split. And that, I think, to fans that are watching the interview might be somewhat concerned.
Ooh. I've already told my team that I'm coming back in the summer. Like, for me, I've already made that decision. I will compete for the spot in summer. Now, like, if the guy is better than me, then I just can't imagine it, Who's better than me? Like,
oh boy.
Obviously, like, okay, this is why ego attack, you can obviously, like, stuff like that, but, like, obviously at Worlds I didn't play that well, but domestically I've always either been the best or tied for the best, top 2, maybe, like, top 3 at my worst, the entire time that I played here. It would be really surprising for me that over the course of, like, 4, maybe 5 months of not playing competitively, my skills have just, like, deteriorated to the point where I'm not the best anymore. Like, this has been a consistent thing for me and like a consistent drive for so long. My experience is not going to fade back. Like I'm not going to lose all of the times that I've spent playing on stage and like competing for the trophies. Like maybe my synergy with my teammates will fade away a little bit, but yeah, it seems super unlikely to me that someone could be better than me in just one split.
Yeah. Hopefully not your final words in the NA LCS.
Yeah, oh my God.
It seems super unlikely. Who could be better than me?
Who could be better than me?
Doublelift's last words ever at the LCS.
Dude, my story can't end with that awful performance at Worlds. Like, I know we won the summer split, and I know that we had like a really dominating regular season, and we were like the best NA team in a long time, but that's not how I want my story to end. And I'm going to work my ass off like usual to come back and be the best.
Yeah. Is there anything that you would like to say to any of the fans out there?
Just thanks for watching me, and thank you. Honestly, if it wasn't for the fans who had been messaging me and telling me in person, constantly like don't give up, you know, just keep your head up, like don't give up on your dreams, then I would have most likely considered a full retirement. But because of you guys and because of, you know, all the support that I've had over my career, I feel pretty motivated to keep going. So thank you guys for your support, and I'll see you in the summer. Well, I'll see you on my stream, and then I'll see you at an LCS in the summer.
You want to plug that stream, by the way, since this is your new career for the next 6 months?
Of course, dude. Twitch.tv TSM Doublelift.
There we go. All right, so we'll be able to watch you play there. As your friend and as somebody who's followed the scene, I certainly hope we get to see you return to the NA LCS sooner rather than later. So thank you so much for the interview. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things esports here at Yahoo Esports.